Boom. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. Are we up? Waiting for it to come up. It's going slowly but surely. I'm using wireless for the first time. Waiting for it to come up. There it is. Okie doke. Cool. Ooh, this is a live freaking camera. Need some light. Aziz, light! Oh, come back. There we go. I'm still getting set up in the house here, guys. What's going on? I'm fixing things. I moved in to the new townhouse with the lady. So this is a new location, brand new stream. Not that it matters because the message is the same, because no matter where you go, there you are. All right. So today, very simple topic, love. Well, what does that mean, Matt? What are you talking about, love? Are you talking about like the love of your woman, the love of life, the love of an animal? all of that. I'm going to talk about how when you actually act in a loving, tolerant, accepting manner, you get better results than you do when you are acting fearful, emotional, erratic, anger, frustration, stuff like that. A quick story. Yesterday, I was out doing, some errands, some running around, and I'm at the store, and I wanted to buy some flowers for my lady. I've been wanting to do it just because, not because of any particular reason. I just do that sometimes. So I'm checking out at the store, and the guy's got to check my receipt when I walk out, and he sees like the flowers. And his first comment was, "So you're in the doghouse?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Believe it or not," I was like, "Actually, I just do this randomly sometimes because I'm awesome." And I want to. It's kind of weird that we've been programmed that every time a man buys a bouquet of flowers for his wife, girlfriend, whatever, people automatically assume you did something wrong to warrant those flowers, right? Sometimes, no, you just honestly do things. And I'm at the store, and I wanted to... Oh, look, it's me. Crazy. Buy some flowers for my... Mute me. So I'm at the store. The guy's like, "You're in the doghouse." And I'm like, why is it that's your first reaction? That's always something negative. I can't just be buying these because... And I was. I do this all the time. And, I'm not... I'm not bragging by any means, but my lady likes it. I will randomly just bring her flowers, or I will write a note for no fucking reason. It's not a holiday. It's not her anniversary. It's not her birthday. It's just because I want to. I have the willingness to do that for her. So when I do that, she loves it, of course. But that's because that's what I want to do, There's this weird underlying programming that every time you buy a bouquet of flowers, apparently, you did something wrong. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. There are men out there that willingly love their wives, love their relationships, and just want to make their lady smile for no fucking reason whatsoever. And that's all I did. And that's because I was willing to do that. Like, there's something in me that's just like, I'm just going to surprise the lady with some flowers. That's it. It's because I want to, not because I have to. And I'm not a person to do this stuff on the days where it's like, expected anniversaries, fucking Valentine. We don't do Valentine's Day or Sweetest Day or any of those bullshit holidays. I do it as a symbol of like, look, here you go. And you can too. You just have to do it. You don't always have to be in trouble with your woman to buy flowers. You don't always have to do something wrong to say, "Oh, I'm sorry." if you really want to talk these hard discussions with in relationships, you just have to be honest all the time. You want to know the key to a good, long lasting, genuine, faithful relationship is honesty at all times. That seems weird because we're kind of programmed like, oh, don't hurt feelings and this and that. No, you be honest. If you know each other, you have the tough conversations. You sit down, you discuss the things that are concerning. You don't just bottle it up, blow up later out of emotion. This is why love onto the person, even if your partner is becoming, they're emotionally distraught, right? They're angry, and that could trigger that shit in you, and it does in me. If somebody's angry, it immediately kicks in my fucking I want to fight mode. But I have to remember I have a choice of how I react to this response. I can come at it lovingly, or I could be a dick. And I'm good at being a dick. Like I'm a fucking asshole. I'm a comedian at heart that never took stage, but I like to crack jokes and just mock people. And so I have to be careful with that reaction because I have no control over how other people choose to react, but I can. And this is true, and this is honest that 100% of the time, if I just show those people love and tolerance and acceptance that are being erratic or crazy or whatever, always the situation is diffused. Because if you're just genuinely being loving towards somebody who's being an asshole, it kind of reprograms them to be like, maybe I am being ridiculous. How can I be pissed off at this person right here that's being kind to me? And you can do this across the board, whether it's in a relationship, at work, general public. It works. That's why it's basic etiquette, really. Is just always be courteous and kind, which is true. But if you do that, especially if somebody's being a dick to you, instead of being a dick back, that fight fire with fire mentality, just deflate the situation with love. Just be like, just come at them and be like, yeah, I get it. It's all right. And they immediately will know that they're the problem, that they're the asshole, and they will literally calm themselves down in the moment. I've seen it happen. I've done this. I've used this. And it's not for the sake of the other person, it's for your own sake, your own mentality, keeping your mind straight, keeping you level, balanced, in the now, loving. And I'm here to tell you, fellas, especially if you're in a new relationship or you've been in a relationship for a long time, people who've been together for a long time know that honesty, communication, you hear this shit, but you're like, well, how do you do that? By knowing you have a partner that you can do that with first. If you're about to get married or you're in a relationship, you have to kind of figure this out right away. And I could speak from a male perspective that us men, we know within a year and a half if we want to spend our lives with you. That's why, after a year and a half, if a man hasn't maybe 2 years tops, hasn't proposed, he knows he's not going to, because there's something about it that he knows cannot go the distance in that relationship. Right? That's just my perspective. Women are a little different. Women, depending on what they want, they want financial security, they want protection, providing all that stuff. But if that's your sole thing, is you're just looking for the financial security, then the relationship is hollowed out. But if the woman's honest with themselves and knows what they want, and the man's okay with that, yeah, that can work. He does whatever the hell he wants, and she, reaps the benefits of the financial gain, which is great. But if you want a true partnership, I really believe things will come some way. I don't know how, but they will. And love is always the option. And it sounds ridiculous. It sounds retarded to say that love is the answer, right? And I'm a person who struggles with anger, right? Which is crazy because I came from a fairly decent upbringing, middle class. I got pretty much everything that I wanted. And, I wasn't starving, and I had good love and family around me, but yet somehow it became angry at the world. And I still work on this. Anger is not something that I believe, I know you can't get rid of it like completely. And it's a useful, natural emotion. Anybody tells you different is full of shit. You just don't want to be going around being angry all the time for no reason, especially when people are being loving towards you, right? Choosing to be loving is the hard choice, especially when somebody's being an asshole to you or engaging in some negativity and it's stirring up those feelings inside you that makes you want to fucking fight or argue or, get mad right back at them. And I know from my own experience, nobody wins in that situation. Both parties walk away, or multiple parties, whatever, walk away shitty in the mind. So you have to make the decision, even if it's the other person causing it. You have to choose that. You have that power and the choice to do that by choosing love. Someone's being an asshole. I guarantee if you are loving, tolerant, and accepting of that person as they are, and you just show them that, they will diffuse themselves. It's like always, even in your own relationship. Relationships are always the best go-to because who is around you all the time? Your wife, your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. They're always around you, so they see you all the time. So who do you have to be the most loving and accepting and tolerant of? Your significant other, right? So the best practice is in your own house, with your own self, in your own habitat, right? Practice. And it's always practice daily. It'll never be a perfect thing, obviously, but it can totally grow. And I'm 35. I've been in a lot of relationships, and I'm in something now to where both of us have the ability to be honest. When we know when we're getting a little emotional, that either one of us has to back away because you're in that committed relationship, So there's I wouldn't say it's complicated. It's just it's not somebody that you can just walk away from like in the general public area, or at work, or just, you won't see them for days on end. It's like you're there all the time. So you have to learn to coexist with this person. And you do it in a loving way, like, and it's not all sunshine and roses either. But I know from my experience that every time I've been angry, I say dumb shit. Um, Words just pour out of my mouth and they just come from the belly of my evil. Because I have this dark side. I have a dark side and I use it in dark humor and just how I see it. But sometimes it just flows out of me, like out of nowhere. And I've been having a great day. Wonderful day. I've had so much good things happening in the last several weeks that it would take me a whole stream to list them off. But I'm grateful for them. I really have to remember gratitude, not entitlement. We have, I'll say there's people in general or whatever. There's so much entitlement. You have to abandon the entitlement and start to look at things as they are, not what you think they should be, right? If you can accept a person as they are, right? And because I get irritated, right? People piss me off all the time, but then I have to ask myself, what's going on with me that is making me look at this person with discontent and anger or frustration, right? So I have to ask myself that hard question. I go, what's going on with you? And it's usually because the person or persons or thing is not behaving in a way that makes me, okay. And I have to remember that people I have no control over. People, places, things. Dude, they are their own person behaving in their own way. But if I look at them and go, that's just how they are, I can accept them. I can like them. I can love that person. I may not like them necessarily, but they won't piss me off. They won't be sucking away energy from me because I allow that to happen in my head, right? So love is always the solution. You have two choices to act in this world: love or fear, right? Big difference. People make a lot of dumb decisions out of fear, right? So is this gonna? I don't know if this is gonna work out. Blah blah blah. And like, you don't know. Nothing's guaranteed in this world. You just have to gamble sometimes, and not gamble because that's a terrible thing. But you just gotta make a decision. But if you make no choices, you'll never get anywhere, right? So you can't do that. You can't just like sit in limbo your whole life and be like, well, I can't make anything because I'm comfortable here. You have to make decisions to get you where you want to go, right? So you have to try to make these decisions out of love, right? If, especially in a relationship, and it's weird because I think a lot of people get obsessed with the idea of marriage and just getting that stuff, and then divorces are crazy, and it's almost it's becoming programmed to be too common that divorce is normal. It's not normal, okay? Committing yourself to a person for your life is an act of pure selflessness. It's a sacrifice. It's saying, I'm not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere together. The yin to the yang, man. It really is. And we live in a day and age where it's almost like we just want to repeat the initial euphoric feeling of the beginning of the relationship, those butterflies, the willingness to do stuff all the time. How you feel, but telling your stories, telling your life to a new person, getting to know somebody. It's always very fun. It's rejuvenating, right? Every time that is, it's a very kind of lack of a better word, addicting state of mind, right? Because you're getting to do this. It's new, it's fresh. And then you be with somebody a year or two, their habits, all their stories, they know all your stories. You guys get used to each other. So now you have to grow to the next level of that relationship. What's the next level look like? Always be honest. Never forget to have those tough conversations. Don't let those emotions get the better of you. And if they do, you have to quickly fix that shit. You have to quickly take ownership for what you did, not blame the other person for what they did or didn't do, what you did. Love on the person, go at love. They will love you back unless you're with a complete psychopath. And I don't know what the fuck to tell you. And it's fascinating to me. I was talking to a friend. He's been with his wife for 28 years, and he wishes that they could communicate about their emotions more. And I go, fuck, I don't know how you've been together 28 years and not, right? Because all my other relationships, it was always emotionally charged shit. Anger, frustration, then super sadness and sorries to sweeping under the rug, but never really finding solutions to any of these problems, right? One thing that me and my lady do that works, if I'm applying it, is if one of us is getting too heated or we don't like where the conversation's going, we say banana. And the banana means drop the fucking conversation, because the things that are going to come out of my mouth from now on are going to be intense, and it's not going to be happy. And we're going to have to make some apologies. And it works when it's accepted by either party. And I falter sometimes, and I like to say a couple things because that's the emotion part. The emotion part wants me to keep going. Like, you know what? Let me tell you exactly what's going on. So it's constant practice, right? But if I accept that basic tool that we use, it allows me to calm down, come at her lovingly, and then discuss stuff to a point to where we can find a solution instead of just bitch. It's too much bitching. You look around all day. I'm in a new fucking place right now. This is fucking wonderful for me. I do not deny that. It's great. We've been doing projects. It's so busy, but yet I'm delegating time. This is great. I like it. This is possible with this state of mind. If you live in this despair world where you think, oh, I'll never have good shit, I'm like, you never will with that fucking mentality and the way you look at it. You never will with that perception, because that perception is shit. And I've been there. So I know it's shit. I've been through it. I've experienced it. My mind was wrapped up in despair forever, and I wasn't able to see the good things around me. But once I started practicing that, grateful for what I have. Gratitude is one of the easiest, best tools to practice if to get yourself out of a shitty mind situation, right? Wherever you start getting selfish and self-centered. That's why loving onto another person gets you outside yourself. If you're not thinking about yourself, you can't fucking be miserable. It's that simple. But it's constant practice. It's not something you do once and then you're coasting for like a few weeks. It's like daily challenges every day. I get challenged every time I go into work. It's wonderful. People, the general public, they're so fascinating. But that's how I look at it when I see them. But if I look at them as individuals and as I'm talking to them one-on-one, I can engage with another human being on a level that is so profoundly deep that if you just see it for what it is, it's fascinatingly amazing. And but if I'm in that state of mind, like, what does Matt want? Matt sees the world as you're trash, you're great, you're awesome, you're not. Then that's all about me. Crazy, fascinating stuff. So love, and it's fucking hard. I know, because sometimes the people we have to love on the most are some of the closest people to us, and that's the hard choice. It really is the fucking hard choice where you have to, family's hard, right? Because I've got two sisters, parents, right? And sometimes it's hard. You just don't want to. You're like, I've known you my whole life, and it's like, but that's okay. There's another way to love, and that's called detaching with love. All right. If there's a person in your life or whatever, and they are just being ridiculous, and maybe you're trying to help, maybe you're trying to be an ear for them to vent, maybe you're just there, maybe you're enabling their shitty behavior, but at some point you have to eventually detach with those people with love. And if you do, like, you step back lovingly, not mad, like, go fuck yourself, you're on your own, just detach, be like, I really hope everything works out, right, for you. And you just let them be, and you let that person go on to their journey and figure out what pain they need to go through to get them to the next level of being. That's all. The next level of being, right? I'm in a new level this week. These last couple of weeks have been phenomenally wonderful. I heard the garage door just open. My lady just got in. I kind of hope she pops her head in, even though I have this really ridiculous setup going on. I have to figure out what I'm doing. It's, you don't even want to know what I did to get these fucking stupid ass curtains up. But you have to practice love daily. And the best way to do it starts with always you, not other people. And I did that. I go, if the world was just like this, I would be a much better person. If the world would abide to the way I think and feel, maybe then everything would get along just great. Now, you have to do it. You have to be the person. I believe that every person, individual human being on this planet, has so much great power within them that they don't even realize it, most people. You're so much more powerful as an individual, thinking for yourself and behaving and living through your actions rather than your words, the life that you want to live, because you can't expect the world to change, but you can. You have to be the voice, and you have to live it. This is why I've always had problems with people who claim to be parts of religious groups, Christians and things like that, because they don't live it. I want to see them live it. And you could tell the ones who are living it because they're not talking about it. They're living it. The ones who talk about it all the time generally aren't. And in my experience, that's what I've witnessed. And I don't hold these people in contempt. I just hope they are more honest with themselves and figure it out, right? Be honest with yourself. Tell the truth. Don't lie. You'll be okay. Love onto these people, even when everything in your gut tells you to, like, just engage. And I'm not saying you can never. I'm not a all passive person. That's too much. You have to have a balance, right? Because I know some people that they're wonderful people, but they're way too fucking passive. Like, like Mr. Rogers type. Just, oh yeah, I'll be my neighbor. I'm like, that's too passive. You got to put your foot down and be stern sometimes. And it's all about when to apply these things, right? You have to apply them when they're necessary, when the situation calls for it. When does, because you can't go around being a dick all the time, because that's unnecessary. Can you go around being loving all the time? Yeah. But I like to be slow to anger, right? How do you get slow to anger? I like to use I use the rule of threes, meaning if I say something or am loving towards you 3 times, and after that, if the situation hasn't changed or the behavior still consists, then I am no longer saying anything in a loving manner. I'm more stern and direct. Like, all right, no more fucking around. Okay, that's enough. And I think that's a balance of good discipline. I mean, think about with children, you have to love them. A lot of people, I think, look at kids and just they try to talk to children like they're adults, and they're not. They don't understand. And I remember myself as a kid. I was fucking retarded. All I wanted to do was go outside and play. But yet, for some reason, as a kid, I loved everybody. I liked to play with friends. And yeah, there was like some bullying, but that shit didn't happen till like later on, like adolescent years, like junior high. But between the ages of 5 and 10, like everybody just got along just fine. Kids seem to just do that, right? It's like that natural instinct to just be loving is there in your child form. And then as you grow into an adulthood, it's more like a fucking daily battle where you need to struggle to be that more. You have to choose to be that more. You have to practice that more. You have to just live it more. And it's hard, especially in a world where everything's so fast, right? Pick up this stupid fucking thing and just I can literally do everything from that, right? There's no incentive to do stuff, so you have to make that incentive, right? If you're like, I want to be a more loving, caring person, do it. Don't just say you want to, do it. How do you do that? You can do the extreme shit, like go, fucking volunteer down at the soup kitchen, make yourself feel good, but even that's kind of egotistical, right? Or no matter where you go, live it. Principles, right? My principles are honesty, truth, faithfulness, loyalty. That's what Matt lives by, right? And as far as I can tell, it's serving me very well. I live by that. I tell the truth. I'm honest with people all the time. I don't care if it hurts their feelings. I don't care because feelings are not permanent. They're so temporary. Your feelings change on a day to day, right? I could be angry and joy. I was so happy yesterday, and a dime I turned into just frustrated. Feelings are temporary, just like everything is temporary. But the practice is always there. The core principle of love, you have to just keep choosing it every day. You have to learn your own stuff by being honest with yourself. You do some introspective work. Let go what you think and start to learn some new things, right? And the way I found works best is just being honest all the time, the truth. And people are like, "Yeah, you shouldn't say it's wrong." I go, it's not wrong when it's the truth. Okay. It may be, but are you telling the truth in a loving way? There is that. You don't have to be a dick about it. Because I am, like I said, a comedian that never took stage. So I kind of am, condescending sometimes. It probably comes off that way, but I don't know. When you tell the truth and you're not lying to people anymore, you don't have anything to fear. See, that's why I don't live in fear either, because I practice this. And it serves me so well, especially in my relationship, to be more loving and tolerant of the other person's needs, but also to know the balance of when is it too much, right? This is something you got to figure out on your own because every relationship's different. I have no idea, as much as I can speculate on the outside of another person's relationship, what those two have been through, what those two have talked about, what those two have shared in the privacy of their own home, right? I don't know. And I think most people just like to look at other couples or and marriages, whatever, and just go by what they see. Like if people are always being shitty to each other, then maybe they think the whole thing's shitty. Could be, or they could have just had a bad day. I don't know. And then there's other couples that that just always just shine as like the example of like this is what it can be. This is what a marriage can be like. And that's what I'm striving for in my relationship. That, and nothing's perfect, but I'm going to be an example that you can spend time with your wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, husband, and be that. And you have to work together, and it has to be to get to that same page. Truth and honesty. No bullshit. No bullshit. And I've seen people who don't know what they have in their relationships and they trail off to another person and they're unfaithful because they think they're going to find some external peace from somewhere else when in reality it was right in front of them the whole time. And they couldn't see where they were wrong. Love, man. And even in that situation, if that happens to you, love on that person as much as you hurt, Because when your emotions get high, oh boy, do I fuck around with that, man. Anger. And I don't expect anything. You can be loving towards people and they could still be an asshole to you. And you just have to, just accept it and be like, that, all right. But because know that that person is the one who's suffering, not you. In a sense, I don't like saying this a lot because, you took the high road on that one. If you choose to be loving and they're still like, ah, fuck you. It's like, well, they're the ones suffering, not you. Always remember that because then that's their problem. They're the ones going through that. But that doesn't mean that they're not feeling some kind of pain. See, that's what compassion is for another human being. Usually when people are acting out like that, they're in some sort of fucking pain. A pain that they're not sharing, a pain that hasn't been dealt with, a pain that's underlying that initial situation that caused that emotional outburst in the first place. I hope that if that happens, or people like that, that they figure out what that pain is, address it, deal with it, and able to move on with their lives, right? So you have to practice even being loving towards that. Even that person's so pissy. There's something going on, and those people are usually in pain. Always. I've been that way. I know when I have been irritated, outburst, or something, it's usually because it's some form of pain that I'm feeling. Something is bugging me, some underlying thing I didn't address, didn't take care of, or just was just there, And it usually comes from self or self-centered stuff. Usually, where it's just like something I wanted or I expected. This is why I try to have no expectations with people, places, and things because it always causes problems. Always. And the minimal, if not no expectations, because you can never be disappointed if you go into something with no expectations. If you go into even just like a movie and you expect it to be amazing, you're setting yourself up so high that if it comes down here, what happens? You suffer, you're disappointed. But if you go in there going, we'll see how it goes. You have to train your mind. You have to train yourself to be this way because you've been trained. Just like I said in the beginning of this fucking live stream about the story of me going to get flowers at the store and the guy goes, are you in the doghouse? No. I'm like, I love my woman and I buy her flowers because. Yeah, I do that. And men, you can do that too. You don't have to always be pressured into the fucking anniversaries and birthdays and shit. Sometimes it could just be a fucking Tuesday like it was yesterday. And I just do that. No reason. Because I want to. That's the kind of person I actually am. That's not doing it out of obligation. It's doing it out of willingness. There's a big difference. I don't really like doing things out of obligation unless that obligation is something I chose willingly. You can do that without having a negative response, right? You can give your woman flowers without being in trouble. You can do these things. And I suggest always practice it more. If you love on your woman randomly, even if you're not in a fight, it doesn't always have to be negative either. You could just love. If you just love constantly, you probably have a pretty good day, week, month, years together, right? But it's constant, day to day. Every day is different. No day will ever be the same in any relationship the longer you're with somebody, but it will always grow into something more. Always. The people that were together 50, 60 years. They're not the same people that when they got together at 20, not the same people at 30 or 40 or 60 or 70. They are different every decade, right? You're never the same person. You're that person, but you're just you're a little wiser, right? You've got some experience. You know better. You've been practicing certain things your whole life that have gotten you to this point. You know what you got to do. The matter is you just have to choose to do it daily. And it's all about, you're never going to be perfect at it because I'm not. I'm far from fucking perfect at it. But I have to always daily be reminded. That's why I do these streams every week because this consistency is good. But also, even if I have no, I didn't even know I was going to talk about this till I sat down. I didn't even have this prepared. I was trying to fucking I'm spending more time worrying about how to get these curtains up than actually talking on the stream. But because I had the love idea in my mind earlier, because I had a good morning, I just felt like go from there. And I just always speak honestly. That's why I could talk forever. It's not because I'm like, oh, I read these books and things. It's because I speak honestly about my life, my experience, and to other people. I don't bullshit you. I don't fucking sugarcoat shit. And I just talk. If you can just talk freely, I really think life will be so much better for you and everyone around you. They're like, you can't just say what you want. I'm like, you can, you know, but it's a choice too. The more, and I know this because if you speak truth and honesty all the time, yeah, it tends to shorten your social circle. Because a lot of people don't like to hear the truth when it's about them. Who doesn't? I don't like hearing truth about me. I mean, it goes all around. It's full circle. I'm not immune to this shit. But even so, gotta be loving. You know, I'm not a religious person at all, but I understand, the core concepts of things like that are in the Bible and other religions. It's like the core honesty, truth, love onto others, and don't expect anything. You'll be okay. So I gotta go. But thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like this stream. Share. I'll be back next week, I think. Maybe Tuesday. I might be doing a day early because I have to work in the afternoon. I have some other obligations to tend to. But I'll post it on my Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all the lovely social media sites. Now that I moved in, I'm becoming more comfortable and the projects are getting less and less around the house. I'm able to work on that website, the actual website that I want to direct people to from now on. YouTube and Facebook, they bury anything that's worthy of good views, and that's not me blowing my own fucking horn. It's just there's a lot of fluffy bullshit nonsense and I'm tired of it. And they don't like that. So I'm going back to old school, go to whatever.com. And if you want to hear that stuff. So I'm in the process of that. Again, I'm one person. So I'm trying to get it, it's in all my spare time. So whatever, I'm not, who gives a shit, right? These are not problems. No, they're not. They're actually, that's why I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the fact that I can actually work on that. So that's how that works. So everybody have a great day. Have a good rest of the week. And don't take yourself too seriously.